Well, it's a step in the right direction for wearable tech. Nike unveiling its new self-lacing basketball shoes. Global's Tom Hayes explains how they work and how much a pair will set you back.
First inspired by Marty McFly, the future for your feet is now.
I'm going to show you something that can soon become obsolete, part of the history books, tying up the laces on your shoes, because now there's an app for that.
And we can thank Nike for the shoe that goes with that app, the Nike Adapt BB, the first ever self-lacing basketball sneaker.
Everybody, it's Sean here, and I am back today to give you guys a review of the Size collaboration with Nike.
Sean Go is a YouTube shoe expert, and he can't wait.
Innovation is huge for Nike, right? Obviously trying to push the boundaries of what sneakers can be, and one of the most obvious pain points that a lot of us have is tying our laces.
The Back to the Future shoes were a bit of a stunt, but the new Nikes have an automatic lacing system inside that runs from a battery-controlled phone app, giving us way more free time in our lives.
How long would it take you to lace up your shoe?
I do the double loop, the rabbit ears, so 10 seconds.
You don't save you time in a day?
Like 10 whole seconds.
Right? Sometimes, you keep your back all right, you have to bend down and tie it, so why not?
So it's a health and safety thing.
Exactly.
Save a lot of people from falling on their faces too.
I think for a lot of sneaker enthusiasts.
So there are sneaker enthusiasts?
Oh, there's tons of sneakers, especially in Toronto. There's a huge growing population of them. And one of the major draws for myself personally is innovation.
Might be a tougher sell to the non-sneaker enthusiast generation, who may not understand $460 Canadian a pair, laces not included.
Well, a little bit too much.
A little bit too much?
Yes, yeah.
Sean is betting demand will be huge when the Nike Adapt BB is officially released next month. He highly recommends the upgrade.
Wondering, what do you think of my shoes, like right now?
I think you could use some tips.
Tom Hayes, Global News.
What's going on, everybody? It's Sean here, and I am super excited to give you guys my review of the Nike Adapt BB in the black, white, and pure platinum colorway. Officially named the Nike Adapt E.A.R.L BB, these React BBs are the sequel or follow-up sneaker to Nike's Hyper Adapt, which released a couple years back. The key difference between those Hyper Adapts and these React BBs are, first and foremost, the price. So I believe those ones were about $700 or $750 US, whereas these guys are $350 US or 450 Canadian dollars. And secondly, those ones were more of a general training shoe, whereas these ones are designed and meant to be played on a basketball court. It makes no surprise that these were super high in demand. Here in Canada specifically, there's only two possible ways you can get them. So in Vancouver and Toronto, both of our livestock stores had limited runs, and Toronto's main House of Hoops Foot Locker location carried the most stock. So that's where I managed to grab my pair. I lined up bright and early for yesterday's release and waited about 4 or 5 hours until I was able to grab my pair. With only about 120 to 140 pairs available to the public, there was some disappointed people that went home empty-handed. So first off, before we go on with the shoe, here's a quick look at the box. So I'm sure you guys have seen this box before, but this is a massive, almost cube-like box. And then on the side of the box, we have these two circles, which are sort of a theme that we see throughout the shoe itself. So as I take out this outer shell, we're basically left with something that's very, very similar. So this is a black box. Once again, we have those two blue circles on both sides, and then you open up the box like so. So there's these flaps on the side, you pull them out. One second, it's kind of a struggle. So you pull them out like so, and then this top lid lifts off somehow. All right, here we go. So this lid lifts up, and then you're supposed to hold the shoes like standing upright inside. So I've already taken out the shoes because I was like testing them out this morning, but the shoes go standing upright inside like this. And then at the bottom of this huge box, we're left with this, which is the charging plate. And this is actually how the shoes charge their batteries and repower up. And then underneath this, we have this sort of cellophane-like bag, and we have the cable and the charger itself. And at the very bottom, we have this instruction manual booklet, and Foot Locker also gave us this little patch along with the shirt that I'm wearing, which were pretty nice bonuses. So with all that out of the way, let's go back to the shoes. So I'll admit, at first glance, when they first revealed these shoes to the public, I wasn't completely sold. The design of this shoe to me was a little bit strange. Specifically, this middle portion of the shoe felt very empty, and with the missing laces, it just felt like something was off. However, I was very excited to try the technology, so I knew either way, I knew I was gonna grab these shoes to test them out. Fit Adapt technology. So this is that self-lacing technology which pairs up with the app on your phone that allows you to customize the fit, and over time with updates to the app, reflect better updates and changes to the shoe itself. So first things first, when you get these shoes, you sync them up, specifically left foot and right foot, to your phone. And the shoes are connected one-to-one with your phone only. Diving straight into the shoe, so the outer shell or outer layer of the sneaker is constructed using black Flyknit. This Flyknit is very thin, very light, and very flexible, which honestly surprised me a little bit. So you see, surrounding the bottom section of the shoe, this Flyknit is wound together much more tightly. However, as you move up towards the upper half of the shoe, this knit becomes more open, and as a result, you can kind of see the next layer underneath. Running down the center of the shoe, we have this thicker knit, which has a very strong and elastic feel to it. Running down the center, we have these circles embroidered in the middle, and then above this, we have the Nike swoosh on the right foot and the Nike word mark on the left foot. So as I just mentioned, this material is very stretchy and very strong, and this section really allows you to pull and tug at the shoe without worrying of snapping or pulling apart. So underneath this outer layer of knit, this is where we house the lacing system. This is what Nike calls Fit Adapt, and it's a series of motors and cables which tighten and loosen the shoe in various areas based on your foot. To ensure that these cables don't cut into your foot when you're wearing them, within the shoe there's also this very well padded tongue. So you can kind of see this at the very top of the shoe just peeping out underneath the knit, and this is very well padded, so you really cannot feel those cables on top of your foot. On the lateral side only, we have this oversized Nike swoosh, and this is done in 3M. Right below this, we have another mini swoosh that's found on the midsole, and then the swoosh kind of trails off in the form of 4 dots, and this goes onto the back heel. So I've heard a lot of people aren't too happy about the way that the swoosh looks. They would have preferred more of a sleeker look, but to me it kind of goes with the whole futuristic vibe of the shoe, and I personally don't mind it. Covering the back heel, we have what feels like a synthetic nubuck or almost like a felt-like material, and you can see on the very back it kind of protrudes outwards, almost like a small shelf on your heels. Wrapping around the very bottom of the back heel, we have this TPU heel counter that has this glossy finish to it, and in the middle we have the Nike logo debossed in the center. So the interior of these Adapt BBs is constructed out of a very soft, almost silky textile, which in my opinion kind of helps your foot slide in and out of the shoe. And as I pull out the insole, you'll see that the look of the insole sort of mimics the face of the app itself. So we have left on the left foot and right on the right foot, along with the various colors that you can change the lights on the shoe to be. So you guys can't really see this, but if you take out the insole, right in the middle, you'll see that there's this area that's kind of blocked off. This is where the battery, the gears, and all that stuff is found. So the upper of these Adapt BBs sits atop this full-length, white-colored Cushlon foam midsole. On the bottom half of the midsole, you'll see running throughout the length of the shoe, we have these circular indentations. And on the lateral side, we have these 2 buttons which allow you to tighten or loosen the shoe manually if you don't want to do it through the app. So earlier on, I mentioned how these lights have colors. So what I meant was there's LED lights behind these buttons, and you can customize the color of these buttons through the app. So this bottom left circle pulls up the menu and it shows you all the color choices. So we have Hero Blue, we have Racer Blue, Vivid Purple, Pink Blast, Red Orbit, Bright Crimson, and so on and so forth. There's like Electric Green, Green Spark. So there's in total 3, 6, 9, there's 12 different color options you can choose. But the unfortunate thing are these lights don't permanently stay on, which is an option I would have preferred, but I'm sure they did that just for battery conservation's sake. Flip these over to the medial side, so in this case there's no buttons, but we do have this large black Nike swoosh that's found underneath the heel. Flipping these over to the bottom, so here we have your outsole. So in this case, this is entirely done in this icy blue rubber, and we have this circular traction pattern underneath the forefoot and the bottom heel. You'll see that the pivot point on the forefoot and the heel are done in a darker blue, and this kind of mimics those 2 buttons found in the shoe along with the 2 circles found on the box and the rest of the branding. So in terms of actually using this Fit Adapt technology, this was as good as advertised. So here on this app, you can see there's L for left foot and R for right foot. So because I am holding the right shoe, let's control this right now. So if you want to tighten it up, you push it upwards. And then if you want to loosen it, you pull it downwards. Another dope feature about this shoe is when you initially set this up, you can preset the fit so that every time you put your foot into the shoe, it automatically locks you in based on your desired tightness. And then say you're done playing and you want to loosen up both shoes, then this bottom right button loosens up both shoes to the maximum looseness. And then last but not least, this center button right here, if you click this, this shows you the battery life of both the left foot and the right foot. So because I've been playing around with the right foot only, you'll see that it's down to 97%, whereas the left foot is still at 100%. And as I showed you guys from the start, with this charging pad, all you gotta do is connect the wires, plug it into your outlet, and then place the shoes on top of these two circles like so, and then they'll charge up pretty quickly. I believe I was told it only takes about 15 minutes of charge for this shoe to last you a full game, but if you're able to charge the shoe completely, then it should last you about 2 weeks. In terms of sizing, so I've been seeing a ton of conversation about how these fit. So to me, my feet measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I got these in a size 10 and they fit me perfectly. I do have to admit, initially, getting your foot into the shoe is a bit of a struggle. However, once I got my foot into the shoe, they fit me very, very well. They were not too tight by any means, and there was definitely some room for me to tighten up the shoe and take advantage of the Fit Adapt technology. For reference sake, I'm a size 10 in other basketball sneakers like the LeBron 15, LeBron 16, and Jordan 33. However, I go with a 10.5 in other models like the Kobe 11, LeBron 10, and 11. So overall, your foot is going to be different, but my best recommendation would be sticking true to size, as the length of the shoe is a little bit on the long side already. So I feel like if you go up the half size, they're going to be just way too big. From a comfort standpoint, so first off, these were lighter than I expected. They're a little bit bottom heavy given that the battery and all that gears and stuff are at the bottom, but going past that, these were lighter than I thought. The upper, as I mentioned, is very flexible and it really hugs well to your foot. And then this Cushlon bottom, while it's nothing crazy like React or Zoom Air, it did feel more comfortable than I'd originally anticipated. However, I do have to preface this by saying that without giving these a proper run on a basketball court setting, my opinion definitely could change over time, but these are just more of my initial thoughts and viewpoints. Another thing I noticed is that this Cushlon creases pretty easily. So without even putting these through some significant strain, you can already see there's some creasing throughout this midsole, which may bother some people, but at the end of the day, these are meant to be worn for performance reasons, so it is what it is, and I personally wouldn't get too hung up about it. So with all that being said, now let me tighten these up. And I'll show you guys how these look on feet. After initially not being completely sold on these, I am now a believer. I'll admit, I've completely turned 180, the look of the shoe has totally grown on me, and I firmly believe that this Fit Adapt technology is the future. Some of you guys may think it's a gimmick, but I feel like it's imperative that Nike continuously innovates and continues to set the bar that much higher. I really don't know where the future of sneakers are going to be, but with a shoe like this where I'm able to control the tightness and the colors and all that stuff on my phone is absolutely remarkable. I'm sure down the road we're going to be seeing a ton more colorways and hopefully the price point drop, but until then I'm going to absolutely cherish these Adapt BBs. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the Nike Adapt BB in this black, white, and pure platinum colorway. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on Instagram at sgo8, check out my Twitter at sean.go, and visit my website as well at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully this video helped you in some sort of capacity, and until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.